The ones who have the upper hand now are Team Lilgun, even though we know that there is that 1-1, yet Team Lilgun gets to choose from all these heroes opened up. Arlott comes through, and also as well as the Faramis.
So you can pick up the Valentina here. You can go Valentina Jungler, Valentina Riz. The Riz might be good to pick up as well. And for Team Lilgun, they're not worried about the Claude anymore. So there's very few things that actually threaten the Faramis straight up. I'm liking the odds of AP Bren here coming in, winning from the gold lane.
I can hear, I can hear her coming through. Angela.
It's been a while. We haven't seen Angela in a while.
Yeah, Angela with the Baxia, as we said before, it's a disgusting combo. It's one of those combos you don't want to play against, but yeah, Team AB Bren, they have the early game pressure, and also they have the hard guard to serve Super Marco's best. Oh my god, I think that AB Bren at their first stage are really, I'm not gonna say dominating, but look here. I would have suggested to have a suppression hero, or at least someone with high crowd control for the 1-1 to trigger the crossbow of Tang, and so far, I don't see any crowd control coming from the side of Team AB Bren.
Nope, they're just gonna brute force it.
Oh.
And they will punish any engagements from Ethan Skaja. I think it's spelled out what Team Lilgun will do. They missed out on the window of flexing the Arlott, so now we know that this is going to be an XP laner, a mid laner, and a roamer for the Mongolian squad. They're going to start choking out the XP lane, which shows that they might actually put the Beatrix on Bebex.
And I love the
It's
fact
telegraphing that.
you're right. The Beatrix has been one of the key ways that Lilgun have been able to deal with a 1-1, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And you caught it. AP Bren also caught it. Ducky and Bren say, no, no, no. We know what you're up to. On top of that, though, I would say for AP Bren, it's great. The fact that they pick up the Angela here gives Lilgun so many questions, right? Because what are we going to ban here? Is the Angela going to be a mid lane or a roam? That's why they're forced to ban out a Valentina, and that just might be a wasted ban. The Angela, now for AP Bren, they'll say it's all planned. We wanted this to go to the mid. That Valentina, you've just wasted it. Now we can get Flapteezy on a playmaking hero to dive deep into the back line.
AP Bren didn't care about the whole Faramis situation anyways. They've learned to play around it through timing and through initiative. So with that said, still no jungler, still no gold laner for the Mongolian squad.
And speaking of the Mongolian team right now, wish granted for them after qualifying from the group stage via that wild card. Lilgun shared that they are looking forward to facing AB Bren, and be careful from what you are wishing. Your wish has been just granted. The Filipino champions are now up against you.
All right, here we see now the first pick. What's this gonna be here? Gold lane? Or they can save it. Actually, I suggest y'all save it. Save it to protect him.
I agree. They don't.
Oh, that's a really early carry. Who's she supposed to burst down? Just the Baxia so far?
The Baxia.
Anyone with the help of the hard guard, I think, could be bursted down. The thing is, they have a Kaja, so anyone locked down will get shredded out of the Land of Dawn almost instantaneously once we get into that later stage. And honestly, I understand why they didn't go for something of normal picks for Bebex here, because the only hero that's left for him, it's Brody. And the Terizla, right now, it's still up for grabs. It's a very good counter to the Brody. Kind of takes him out of the game.
But for you, Leo, why do you think that they saved the jungler for last?
Because they're more confident in the Kaja carry combo. They know that this will help them scale into the late game. They know that it'll help them get the pickoffs more safer than the Brody. And here now, AP Bren says, you know what, we're going to close it up with a lineup that literally anyone can get the hard guard. I mean, save for the Minotaur, that's a huge waste of a resource. But yeah, no, you put the Pakito into Flapteezy's hands, you're in for a good time. They close up with the Akai. Solid lineup from both teams. I'm liking how Team Lilgun is playing with initiative. Again, they pick their fights, they know they want to burst down, and they can do that via so many angles of attack. AP Bren, though, they are a blunt force weapon. They are a sledgehammer. They are a shield used to wreck skulls on the battlefield. I'm liking their approach here, and it should set the pace here. I'm pretty caught down in the middle, given that it's a carry. I like the carry pick from Team Lilgun.
Same.
Yeah, I do also like the carry pick here. She can melt down Baxia. Not just that, joining here and converting Angela from the Ruling Duty to the mid lane Now you can add upon that one more tanky hero, which is the Minotaur. Going into the Land of Dawn, introduce us to this game, Miracle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Dawn for game number 1.
5 seconds.
The fate of this group lies in this match. In this game, it all starts here.
The game starts and both teams have a lot of responsibilities. Team AB Bren with the hopes and with the wishes, with the prayers of Team Brimis Ghouls right now, and Team Lilgun having their first appearance on the world stage. They might just make it through if they won this game, if they won this match totally, and advance to the playoffs.
Initial rotations showing AP Bren went for the orange check. Oh, Gwyn.
Early advancements from Lilgun, but even going to be punished. Baptiste jumps in with a good dash forward, and both flickers from the roamers will be burnt out.
That's a roam for roam resource trade. Looking at the emblems here, so far we can see that Aizen is playing with the fighter emblem, so he is going to use a little bit of the spell vamp. He is willing to go toe-to-toe against Flap-TZ. Something to note as well is the Wilderness Blessing advantage from Team Lilgun. So they know that they're going to be crossing the river more often. They're going to be trying to support their side lanes faster and sooner, much like this.
No flicker for Ogwen, still able to escape with the help of the shield unity from Flap-TZ as Flap-TZ rotates over. Zixora caught in enemy lines. Aizen flickering forward, looking for an exchange, finds one, but now he's caught as well. Forbit providing some support. Aizen again with a vengeance, 2 times getting the sustain. Ethan body blocking, but now Few ties him up. Shield unity to the back, finding another. Now it's Ethan and Forbit caught under siege. It's another kill from Forbit, and it ends up just being a 3-4-2. But wow, what a fight.
The damage from the Ghost Bursters stacked up. Again, the more targets there are, the more damage you're going to output, even in this very early stage of the game, under 2 minutes before that turtle spawned. We're already looking at a bloodbath. 3 and 2 at 2 minutes. First builds here, Swift Crossbow on to Marco. And you're seeing here, Bebex just isn't built to fight just yet. Kyle TZ has a physical defense.
Even with the heavy spin, it's a brilliant Minions Fury to help Kyle TZ find that red tree. And now with the help of the hard guard, Kyle wants to go for more, going into enemy territory to get a little bit more of a lead.
After draining the resources out of both teams, that was what I expected to see in the team fight. Minotaur couldn't find his way out, neither Few and also Aizen at this moment. Aizen yesterday said that he was embarrassed. Oh, not Aizen, sorry. I kind of got confused because there's an arrow. Flap-TZ said that he was embarrassed by the performance he made up by the Arlet, even though he was one of the most effective, if not the most effective out of AB Bren's team. But today it seems like he's taking another route to 0-1. He's dealing the burst damage at its finest in front of us.
And looking so far at the performance of these two teams, at how Team Lilgun are actually ramping up for that power spike on to Bebex, it's hard to find the window because if the damage is real, it's going to have to be AB Bren overcommitting. Look at this.
Kyle's just walking Forbit down, forcing a Netherrealm and a heavy spin. 2 massive resources, but also AB Bren did use 2 ultimates as well. So far, they're holding strong onto this lead, 1.2k.
See, until Team Lilgun are ready to ride on the Bebex Express, then that's the only time AP Bren will have to respect that. Because right now, damage-wise, they only have Forbid earlier. That's how they got the 2 kills, right? Only if Forbid is able to Ghost Bursters out AP Bren, that's the only real reliable source of damage. Magic-wise, physically, it's so easy to build physical damage protection. You have your...
Forbid.
Forbid!
Okay, he has a flicker. You held your breath there, but he has a flicker.
He spent it. So, what I'm saying is you have your basic pants, you have your Dreadnought armor, and this is more than enough to ramp up AP Bren into a power spike in the mid-game.
And with all this heal for Team AB Bren, the Nicholas of Durance triggered by Forbid is a kill.
It should be, and Kyle just takes it alone under the turret.
Wow, that was so fast. That was so fast from Team AB Bren right there. But it seems like Team AB Bren just haven't shown us how much aggressive they can get. And Flap-TZ is just revealing the map, giving some vision, cutting some lanes. And I don't know about you guys, but Aizen seems like he's having trouble on that XP lane.
Yeah, no, I mean, your opponent moves much faster, your opponent deals more damage, and of course, burst-wise, Flapteezy is winning that matchup. The only real lead Team Lilgun has in the XP lane is the fact that if it's a team fight, then Aizen can be more of an impact player. But AP Bren is denying that. AP Bren is just coming in wanton, assaulting Team Lilgun's mid-game weakness, because it's not until, again, Bebex is ready that when they can punish.
Oh, Kyle is playing with fire there.
They're living in Lilgun's jungle. Wait for it. Give it a minute.
Well, I'm just waiting for Ethan to trigger his Divine Judgment upon Ogwyn when he triggers his ult, because this is the moment that I think that Team Lilgun is building up to. But looking here at the stats, Team AB Bren are having the best of the gold advantage, and also 2 turtles.
See, even that might be trouble, because if you hit the Divine Judgment onto the Minotaur, isn't that a losing fight already?
No, but when he's in the middle of using his ult, it's not.
Well, Sora is in the middle of using his ult. Heavy spin to disengage. Forbid gets out. Sparely, though, gets poked down. And what happened?
Oh.
Where was that? It's a kill
It was
over in the mid lane. Flapteezy got it with the help of few, but I think the damage alone was enough just by Flap.
That's right. Spears over. Fists over spears up top.
Woo! It's a flicker defensively by Ethan. Forbid bringing him back.
Marco.
Not just yet, though. Marco gets the help of the hard guard, is able to get out of that CC, and it's turret number 1 in both top and bottom.
Yeah, Super Marco is now having the best out of Team AB Bren. He's getting all the help he needs, even more than he needs. He might just change. No, he doesn't even needs to change lanes. He can now move with the formation. He can now wait for the engage, and he can now wait for the crowd control coming from Ogwyn.
All right, as we leave the laning phase here, approaching 7 minutes, 3rd turtle of the game. Good news and bad news. Bad news is it's not looking for Team Lilgun at all. This is a difficult position to be in, especially against a team like AP Bren who knows how to finish games. Good news is,
How?
He just whipped Ogwyn and he found it with the passive. Woo! That's a magical play right there, but Kyle Teasy has none of that. Doesn't want to take it. Goes on a Bebex with the shield unity. Oh my! Can we talk about that? What? What?
He was just tapping. All right.
Did it just transfer all over the map?
That has to be the best steal I've seen in an M series. No, that's so weird.
Yeah, indeed, it was so weird to see. But seeing, like, look, we have spoken about how much AB Bren are now advanced in the game. How can Team Lilgun come back from that?
Yeah, no, it's just a matter of AP Bren overextending, allowing Team Lilgun to get their damage in through Bebex, and they're built for that. It's just when is it going to happen, right? Team Lilgun need to wait a little longer, and I guess that's why they're holding on and maybe going for the steals.
Just for the dive, Aizen, the XP laner, the durable guy on the team, gets melted, and it's Few who picks up the kill. Now a fleeting time built up in the 8th minute of the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't choose to be in Aizen's shoes right now. He's struggling in both top lane and bot lane, and Super Marco seems like he's flying freely through all the map.
Yep. Again, back to how maybe Team Lilgun can come back, right? They have Forbid, they have Bebex, still haven't both died, so that means they have a pretty respectable amount of farm, and you can assume that they're closest to their nets. Speaking of which, 1,000 behind is Bebex, and as for Forbid, yeah, no, just right on par with Few here. So with that said, you have the farm on the right people. Save for maybe Flapteezy. He's going to be the X factor. He's going to be the impact player right now, as he has been for the past 8 minutes.
Well, Kyle's brought back all the way to Divine Judgment as well. Locks him down under the turret. Bebex. So the way by Flap is going to be Kyle TZ, who falls. A flicker backwards from Bebex. And Sora jumps in again. Now with the help of another round. The heavy spin. Flap! A flicker and a punch to knock Bebex out of the back. And now it's Forbid, who's forced to flicker defensively as well. Team Lilgun, did they win that?
The Filipino cannon just body hunting. I mean, it is a win to shut down Kyle TZ's streak, but just the same, you slow down Bebex. That death on Bebex here at the 9-minute mark isn't where you want to be, but just the same, I mentioned it already, Flapteezy, who's to stop him? Who's to stop him? Are you going to commit the heavy spin? Are you going to commit the Divine Judgment? Are you going to save a singular carry with the Netherrealm for that? You need that for those bigger engages.
And you can see where he's positioning already in that bush. Aizen spots him out, but he's 2 levels ahead. Final slash, bringing him back into turret range. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Zixora looking for a steal, now gets isolated and taken down. Meanwhile, Flap, who was isolated as well, gets out easily.
delaying the inevitable. He goes down, Zixora. He was trying for that steal with a heavy spin maybe, but Team AB Bren was just there to zone him out. Team Lilgun, are they able to defend with such lead for AB Bren?
No, the firepower from AP Bren is a little too reliable. It's easier for them to engage, and it's Team Lilgun who have to go for the turn. They have to expose AP Bren to their true damage, and truth be told, they're not quite there yet. Looking at Bebex, he only has a Corrosion Scythe, only has the Golden Staff, and that's about it compared to Super Marco, who is almost 2,000 gold ahead of him, has 3 core items now. 3 core items. Even Aizen, who hasn't been having the best game, right? We admit that. 1-for-1 on an Arlet. Even him alone is not able to stop Super Marco because Super Marco still has the roses. He can cleanse anything that Team Lilgun bring on. So the best thing for Team Lilgun to do is to hunker down on their base. Wait for that next window. Wait for them to allow AP Bren to overextend and maybe hit someone with a heavy spin. Push him in too deep.
Yeah, layer by layer, turret by turret. Team AB Bren right now, they put Team Lilgun to the defense duty. They cannot go out of that enhanced inhibitor turrets, but here comes my question. Team Lilgun at this moment, will they be able to defend one crossbow of Tang if Super Marco triggered it? Because so far, we haven't seen him flying.
Divine Judgment, now it's Ogwen under the turret. Sora trying to zone with a heavy spin, now pins them down. Ogwen still has immortality. Aizen baited to the back line. People are Kyle brought back again under the turret. Aizen, that's a crossbow attack. Your question will be answered. It's Super Marco on the back, deleting, melting them down, but only finding one.
Okay, to answer the question, yes, if they juggle their HP bars the way they did now. They knew that there was just barely enough to keep them alive. But AP Bren!
They're just going in. Zixora now going to be immobilized, then taken out. It's Flap going massive. A knockout strike to zone Ethan away, but now it's going to be Bebex dealing some damage back. Marco, he doesn't care. He wants to go in. 1v3, no problem. He likes those odds. A killing spree for Super Marco.
It's as if Marco wasn't enough. The true core for AP Bren. It was all started by Flapteezy coming in like Ipo Makunochi, coming in with the Dempsey roll, threatening bodies, and they took 2 on the way out, plus that inhibitor. AP Bren, they know that they're playing with time here. They know that if it extends to a longer game time, Team Lilgun might actually have a chance.
Wow, AB Bren at this moment, they like living on the line. They were almost dead, mostly 3 of them, yet they committed to the team fight until the very end. Super Marco with 308, he's now a force of nature. At this moment, it's so hard to stop against the crossbow of Tang, but what's harder is to get into this lowered area because it looks to be a prevented area by AB Bren. They have drawn the line, but a conceal is committed.
One final play, a desperate play, called in by Lilgun. This is the big gun coming in, and they find the Lord, but they get knocked up. Now
Super
it's them
Marco
losing another realm HP. Ethan buys immortality in time, but it's still going to be Forbid who loses out on his life. Ethan chased down Divine Judgment to buy some time. He loses another immortality. Aizen is running for the hills, and look who's chasing him. It's Ogwen. It's the Minotaur, delaying him from the recall while the rest of the team deals with the waves.
The big guns get responded to by the big bull. Look at this. He knows he's not going anywhere. Ogwen knows he has his man. He's a house arrest.
What? That's why he has the title Super. He's not just Marco. Zixora gets out, and now the turret in mid lane.
They don't just call him Super Marco for no reason, man.
Nope.
You see this? This means hope. That means AP Bren are hoping that this game ends soon because they did not expect. Are we just going to allow that to go under the radar because Zixora stole the Lord?
Final slash. Truly is going to be the final slash for him here as AP Bren take him down for the 6th time in this game.
Seems like there is no kryptonite that can stop Super Marco at this point. Team Lilgun are falling down to the pressure. They cannot keep up with the momentum. Team AB Bren at this moment, they are dealing so much damage that Team Lilgun cannot do anything but to take it and wait until this late game. Will Ethan be the solution here, Leo?
Oh, Ethan, you're talking about this Kaja that currently has fleeting time, is playing with the Immortality's cooldown. I'd say he's a key to this, but alone being the solution, I don't think so. I still think you're looking at Bebex. Bebex is your only way out of the situation. You have to allow for him to win against Kyle TZ and Flap TZ first.
Do you think
get
who
rid
has
of
the
those.
most goal? Do you see how it's the XB?
That's right. Yeah, no. That's because Flap TZ's been doing this job since minute one. He's been pushing the tempo. He's been forcing Team Lilgun to play to his pace, and that's why AP Bren are ahead this fast.
Team Lilgun, it's not looking good for them. They can find an opening. They have a lot of crowd control, but yet the execution is key. 10K, almost 10K behind, 8K behind right now in terms of the gold, and in terms of the damage dealt, no one can stop against Super Marco. As I told you, there's no kryptonite with Team Lilgun so far. Recalling, as the MPLID likes to call it. Tas.
Enjoying their time here with an 8,000 gold lead. Welcome Zixora to the death bush of AP Bren. He'll just spin around and get out.
Oh, that's tough. That's a good amount of time that they don't have the heavy spin. At least for sure, until this Lord comes up in about 15, they will not have a heavy spin.
Team Lilgun, I'm trying to think with you. I'm trying to find a solution. I'm trying to look at the items at some point, but it doesn't seem anywhere near possible for me so far. It's nearly impossible, but that's how it takes. That's what it takes to win a team like AB Bren. It needs you to achieve the impossible. At the bot lane right now, spotted from Team Lilgun. They are away from the Lord. They leave it easily, they leave it freely, but yet they release some of the pressure.
Until Team Lilgun has their items built, the only real clapback they have against AP Bren is inside their base. They're going to have to use their structures and their base to be able to close that gap. But aside from that, they can't fight AP Bren toe-to-toe the way it's happening now.
When it comes to the base defending, I think that one final slash can make a difference for Team Lilgun, but not to mention that Kaja so far haven't caught Super Marco. He haven't found his way to take Super Marco out.
You gotta go through 4 dudes. You gotta go through Ogwin, you gotta go through Flap, you gotta go through Few and Kyle TZ, and Few can be anywhere at any time.
Screening, man. Ogwin spotted that from a mile away, and now is the pinch down. Kyle TZ, Shield Unity, heavy spin, bringing him back all the way to the turret. The base turret now locked down with the Divine Judgment as well, but Ogwin finds a 4-man. That's even more. The Nether Realm has been taken out instantly with a crossbow attack, only getting 1 member low. Ethan still has his immortality intact, and it's going to be Lilgun who actually are able to stop AP Bren from doing more damage to the base. But the Lord, he's done enough.
That's right. The turrets are able to equalize the engagement, but just like that, AP Bren are back on it.
Flap jumping in, final slash, bringing it back. Mortality by the Winter Truncheon, now popping in. Zixora going to be knocked up right now. The crossbow tang is ready again, but he's not. He doesn't have it on cooldown. Winter Truncheon by Aizen, buying some more time as the Ghost Bursters does its work. Bebex versus Super Marco. It's going to be the true damage that gets him out now. Shredding Kyle TZ, the base wide open. Flap TZ boxes the base and takes game number 1.
The Philippines champion takes game number 1 against the Mongolian downloaders. Will things look good? Will the virus be installed? That's the question.
I think you mean Le Champion, and I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna call it now. That was an MVP performance for the Filipino cannon, Flap TZ, much like his MPL Philippines Season 12 Grand Finals performance when he was awarded Series MVP. What he did here from minute 1 up until the end, that's exactly what every single Paquito out there wishes to do.
World class, world class. That's what AB Bren have shown us, world class. But the history so far speaks for Team Lilgun. They always lose the first match and then reverse sweep.
That's what I was trying to get to earlier. Good news and bad news is bad news. Not a good situation to be in. Early, mid to late, Lilgun was struggling. But good news is they're known to do this.
Yeah.
They're known to do this, and even in the drafts, it seemed like it was possible for them to actually win or even learn a few things. I'm not so sure what they picked up from this, because this draft from AP Bren was super streamlined. It only wanted to do one thing, and that was run through Team Lilgun. And they did just that with the lead of the person who had the wrong emblem. You gotta double check. Who is it? Which TZ? This is the New Age TZ brothers, by the way. Off of the back of Flap TZ's Paquito, of course. 8-0-2.
Wow.
He went 0-7 yesterday. Now he goes 8-0. He says, I can do both.
Now he's not embarrassed of the performance. He's now proud.
That's right. Look at his emblems this time around. Of course, a little bit of spell vamp. Put stacks on that Festival of Blood. You got agility. You got the fighter emblem, and of course, a little bit of quantum charge to ensure that you lock in those kills that you're looking for. Here, early on, you know that Flapteasy is ready to rumble already. A minute 45 in. He gets the kill, gets traded out for, but just the same, elsewhere on the map, when there's action going down, you can expect that Flapteasy is already thinking ahead of time. He's already thinking of the next step, and see here, he's intercepting and looking for Bebex. He eventually finds him, but at first, force out the flicker, and then Bebex thinks he's safe. All right, eyes on Flapteasy. We were watching the fight to the left, but what really mattered was what Flapteasy was up to, because that's what put Team Lilgun in the situation they're in right now. Look at Flapteasy, always body hunting.
Yeah, and always coming from these unrevealed spots. You always look for a backline, but here, as you said, he loves it that way. Super Marco accepts this challenge, and at some point, as I told you, he was a force of nature.
Frederick, I think we missed that moment. We skipped it.
Which moment?
With the Lord. Oh, with the last turtle, we skipped it.
The Ethan steal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a window in time. I think we'll have to figure that out later on. But here you'll see in their last moments, Team Lilgun was looking for the punish. Team Lilgun was looking for the window wherein finally maybe Bebex can do all the damage.
Yeah.
He did win against Marco, but look at Flap. Eyes on the prize. Just finally just boxing that base down.
In a world where a lot of games have gone down to someone not hitting the base, Flapteasy teaches everyone, hey, this is how you do it.
He's seen it all.
He's seen it all.
He's seen it all. Under 18 minutes, AP Bren was able to close the gap when finally there seemed to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Team Lilgun was about to reload and regroup and reclaim. Just did not happen. It was all about AP Bren here. Looking at the final gold tally, it's actually a smaller gap than we were expecting, but just the same, it's because of that shutdown. The final kills from Team Lilgun that were able to confirm their comeback, but Flapteasy said, not on my watch.
Well, AB Bren right now, I can see that they have this double room going on around, and we have seen it earlier on today. But let me speak of something here that doesn't show in the statistics. Remember that Team Lilgun is living on the edge alongside with Brimmy's Ghouls. They are now waiting for the next game so badly.
We're halfway through that possibility, the timeline that the Burmese want to live on.
Yeah.
I can hear the Burmese. Right after the base exploded, I can hear the Burmese.
You can feel it, you can feel it.
Feel it.
The convention center just shook. And because of that, we are now on the edge of our seats, ladies and gentlemen. We're all hoping for the right timeline. We want the team that will give us the best matches in the knockouts to make it through. And it's down to this next game. Match point for AP Bren. Looking at the damage dealt, of course, majority of it going to come from Super Marco, because that's just what this lineup is all about. On the surface, it's a blunt force object. It's a sledgehammer. It is a, maybe I'd even dare say, Spartan phalanx. Is because at first it's very defensive, right? You want to have its rotations be dictated by the Baksha. Maybe Flapteasy able to put up an angle from an odd side, but it's always going to be very defensive. It's going to be very, very hard to punish anything because Few and Ogwin are always just around the corner.
Just like that. I mean, it always seems that way, right, Leo? Whenever a team has even a bit of a lead, a small win, Flapteasy comes around. When he's 0-7, Calteasy comes around. When both of them aren't there, Super Marco is always around.
Yeah.
And then we also have the rest of the team. I wouldn't be surprised if Ducky just showed up on the land of dawn, you know? I don't know where he's, hey, stop!
Or he just peeks from the dugout and gets spotted by a member of team like, oh, all right, sorry.
My bad.
Well, this is maybe it's not your first time, guys, but it's my first time where it's not match point for one team. It's match point for two teams at the same time.
It's tournament point.
Yeah, it's group point, I would say. So have you guys lived such moment before? Having two teams decide just in one game? Or like, yeah, in just 1 point, yeah, I would say.
Plenty times, plenty times. But here now, it's a little more memorable and it's a little more sentimental because number one, of course, it's the whole Burmese-Filipino rivalry, right? And then the other is I want to see more of Team Lilgun. I want to see this team that we've been watching all throughout 2023 and defying odds, showing us a brand new way of playing our beloved sport. And now they're at the cusp of elimination. It's bittersweet. It's hard. I'm getting torn in different directions.
And also having this really good story to tell, having a team come up from the wild card to the playoffs, that's also something I'm looking up to. But that doesn't mean that I wish anything bad for Team Rimmers Ghouls. Do not hate me for it. Let's see together what's going to happen to the next game. And speaking to about the next game, what should change? Is it the macro or the draft itself?
Something tells me it's more of the macro. I think there was very little that the draft showed problematic.
All right.
Because Coach Mitch, Team Lilgun, they could have made many different choices, especially in the second half, right?
True.
Looking at their closer, it was Carry Akai.
Yeah.
And AP Bren, Coach Bren, attacked very specifically Bebex's Beatrix. And Team Lilgun knew that. Team Lilgun knew that going into the second phase, they picked the Kaja. First, Faramis and Arlot, those are solid draft picks to start off your red side. So now, for the download game to finally make sense, you have to be on the blue side. And then you have to make those first pick gambits, all right? I gotta set up the Nolan, ban the Phoveus if I wanna do that. I wanna be able to play my Faramis still and deny what you did via game one through the whole blunt force object strat. So, yeah, no, I'm expecting that maybe it is indeed truly a download game.
They really have. They need a lot of high-speed internet. They need to hope that they have high-speed internet right now. If it's going to be a download game, because that one was quite quick. You know, from all the Lilgun games, even in game one, usually when they lose, it's a bit closer. It felt like it was close up to a point in the mid-game when AP Bren just utilized their mid-game power spike and understood that this is where Lilgun are going to be weak as well in the mid-game.
I can smell something cooking from your side.
Yeah, no, actually, you know what, Frederick, I think there are some findings. Things are changing amongst the landscape of Team Lilgun.
All right.
Because in their first series loss, that was not a reverse sweep, right? They actually lost to the Burmese Ghouls. And those were also very fast games, right? 12 and 14-45 respectively. Not just that. Number two, they also lost because of an impact player that played from a very specific role, the XP lane. So I'm seeing a trend here. I'm seeing a pattern here. If this continues, then maybe this is something that Team Lilgun should address in the future.
We have seen before, right? Before the wild card.
Before.
That Aizen and Forbid were the two main pillars of the team. So if you are able to dominate one of those lanes, say the XP lane, when Flapteasy has such a massive lead that Aizen can't really hold him down, that's what happens, right? And maybe it's kind of like the metaphor is, right? When you when you download a game, let's say MLBB, and you can't finish it because the duration, you gotta go. Mom's calling for dinner.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Your chores.
Well, for me, it seems like the Team Lilgun, when it comes to, I would say, the roles itself, they are struggling so hard on the XP. Would you agree? Like, because the last time they lost 2-0, it was because of Shadow, mostly.
That's right.
Because he was the XP laner, he wasn't like in the charts anywhere, and so they didn't have any information about. So having Flapteasy doing that, I can sense a pattern.
Number one, I think it's less about information. You could play any XP laner, and it could be an XP laner as illustrious and as popular as Flapteasy. It can be a relative newcomer in the form of Shadow from the Burmese Ghouls, but I'd hate to put the onus on Aizen. I'd hate to say that, oh, it's because Aizen isn't performing. Aizen can't step up to the opponent's XP laner. I think it's a problem and an issue that needs to be answered by the whole team. Dare I even say, before, you're looking at Ethan and Aizen to carry the team, I think now more than ever, ZXR has to step up. ZXR has to be more than just an Akai that allows for Bebex to make space and deal true damage via a DPS hero like Carry. Maybe, again, with my theory of them playing blue, they're able to put a Nolan on ZXR and then go from there. Here indeed they are. Never mind, not the Nolan. Maybe the Gwyn.
Maybe, just maybe. Into the draft we go as Lilgun made that adjustment. Blue side now with the Nolan banned out. The Wan gets taken out as well by AP Bren. They know how much of a force it is.
After giving a taste to Lilgun of how it feels to have a 1-1 against them, they now take the 1-1 away from the whole equation. Team Lilgun starting off by banning the Nolan. I would say like it's a safe ban, it's a safe choice. We're still at the very early stages of the first phase of banning, but the spicy bans right now for me seem so tempting, at least for Coach Mitch, because this is the time, if you have anything that you have been waiting to use for like advanced stages, this is the do it. This is the be or not to be moment. This is the moment where you, if you have a Louis, show it to us. If you have a Tigreal, that's the time for it. If you have something that the other teams don't know about, this is the moment.
So go bold.
Go bold.
Yeah.
Again, try to shift the meta, turn it on its head. And with this Angela ban, it seems like Team Lilgun are both covering their bases, shifting their tempo, and also stopping what shenanigans we saw in Game 1. You want to be able to deny AP Bren this sledgehammer, this brute force weapon approach. So with that said, Ogwin and Few now have to think about it again. We can't rely on the Minotaur Angela as often anymore, and we have to wonder what might end up in the hands of Kyle Teasy, because I still stand on this theory that ZXR also has to step up. He has to show Kyle Teasy that he's not afraid to play aggressive. He has to step up to Kyle Teasy's aggression, because again, the Baksha from Game 1, that Baksha was just crossing the river more often than it should.
Well, speaking of the thoughts, I think that Coach Mitch should think more about the gold lane competition, because there's a strategy here coming from AB Bren banning both gold laners and focusing so hard on Bebex, even though he played that carry last game, but yet he haven't shown the true damage needed from a carry. But again, as you said earlier on, Leo, it was about the macro, but not the draft.
It's all about the winning lanes as well for Bebex, right? If you can secure a winning lane for him, if you can get him to snowball early on, he takes the game into his own hands. And yeah, you're right, the Wanwan, the Bruno, two very good answers. If they want to get a winning lane that's been taken out, and now the only real bully that's still there is the Brody, the Beatrix. Beatrix, I don't think you want to pick up first pick. Brody, same thing.
And you can't even fire him his first pick, because best believe AP Bren's going to go Claude on you.
Yeah.
So you have this whole dynamic.
But would you choose a Paramis knowing that there's a Valentina? Oh, they just leave AB Bren to decide this. They just leave AB Bren to either choose one of them, or at least, or maybe actually pull off both. We have seen Paramis play Rome.
Yeah,
it works,
but not as often. It's been a while. It's been the better part of 6 months since we last saw Rome Faramis. But I like this. This is as safe as it gets. You're getting your cake and eating it too, so to speak. But on a diet, like this is a sugar-free cake right here. The Matilda, not exactly a win button already as it once was when it first got revamped. Now AP Bren can go ahead and pick up some of their power picks. This will definitely define what Game 2's tempo will be. Arlot's still out there. You can go Arlot X.
Arlot's Paramis, Arlot,
and the Nova.
Oh, Nova.
That's a lot of range.
That's an interesting choice there. I thought that we will see a Paramis for sure, but it seems like Team AB Bren, with the damage that they saw yesterday coming from all the Novaria players, they are tempted by it.
This is technically already an answer to the Paramis, right? The range to poke you down, to maybe bait out another realm, and heck, if you're Nether Realm, if you clump up, that final slash will sweep you places. And we've seen Flapteasy just do exactly that.
That's right. We dare you. Make our day, says AP Bren. Team Lilgun now, they have to consider, do we allow for that? Do we do that? Can be Lilia. Lilia Fred. Lilia Fred seems good.
Makes sense. The Neo Beast.
Alchemy.
The new Beast skin duo. But they go for the Brody, so they're still actually going.
You don't have to yet.
For Bebex's hero here in the gold lane. They know it's going to get banned out completely. And now that they have a little bit of a hint as to what's going to the XP, the Arlet, they feel it's safe enough. Unless AP Bren pull a sneaky one here and pick up a Terizla, then the Brody is going to find himself in quite a bit of a pickle. But technically with the Matilda, I think it already kind of helps the Brody out of the Terizla counter pick, right?
Yeah. It allows for Team Lilgun to actually Bebex to protect himself. But now, that's it. More range, more initiative, more space control from AP Bren. And the only thing that Team Lilgun have for that, in that case, is the Matilda.
Team Lilgun, at this moment, they have the engage and the disengage. They have the healing and they have the shields, but will they have the game? AB Bren right now having the Claude being picked by Super Marco. We have seen Super Marco use the Claude multiple times, and he's quite good at what he's doing. And I would actually suggest for AB Bren to go for a Minotaur, to go for an air crowd control hero. Would you agree with me on that, Leo?
Yeah, the Minotaur is still open. They don't have a clear roamer, and I don't think the Novaria's Ogwin hero, or even the Arlet. Actually, the Arlet might actually be a swap here, because again, you can send that to the roam and then put something else on Flapteasy, and that might actually be the case, because even AP Brenner actually cracking down on good XP laners. There goes the Khalid. And again, the Riz, the aforementioned Riz is still out there.
For sure. Lilgun now it gets to a tough spot, right? They would, I think, love to have a Terizla in their picks, but AP Bren could just deny it over with the first pick in red side here. With an Arlet already flexible into that roam position for Ogwen. We've seen him be absolutely lethal on that Arlet pick. He takes the kills. He's not scared to take kills because he knows he will be doing the damage in the early to mid if he gets that Arlet on his hands. The base damage buff adjustment has given Arlet so much more power now.
Flapteasy's memories on that Arlet isn't as good as he wishes, because yesterday that was the hero he didn't like playing. But speaking of that, we see a Fanny coming through for AB Bren, against AB Bren, but Team Lilgun at this moment, and especially Fredrin. Have we seen Fredrin gets flicks to the XP in this M5? We haven't, right?
Not yet.
But
I remember.
Would you suggest that though?
I've been hating on the idea of Fredrin XP for the whole entirety of season 12, so I hate it.
It's bad. It's bad right now. Like, it just doesn't do what you need it to do.
Yeah.
The fact that Dairoth is also a very legit pick now makes it all the more worse.
You're tanky? What? Not physical defense.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The Arlet and the Dairoth sucks. Like, it sucks for you if you're Fredrin, so we don't talk about that.
I am the priestess
Not
of
here.
primal
Edith.
lightning,
Oh.
the hunter of
Still
all
doesn't say
the evil
anything.
gods.
It really has.
You still can't confirm it.
Who's going XP?
Yeah.
But it's a 60-40 though. It's a 60 Edith roam, 40.
Yeah.
40 for
Arlet
the
roam.
XP.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Terizla, the Riz himself, will be a bit of a safe choice to go for if you're Lilgun.
Yeah, Lilgun actually got the Riz back on the swing, so they got to do that plus a mid laner.
Or they could go for just something a bit more aggressive. If they really want to dive, give the Novaria some problems, the Yuzong makes more sense, right? If you want to chase down the Novaria, the Terizla, good initiation, good engage, but I don't think you can really catch up to that Nova.
Yeah, I was just about to say, maybe Valentina seems so tempting here. And also, as you guys said, there we have the penalty zone master, Terizla, for Team Lilgun. How's the draft so far?
Okay, so Team Lilgun wrapped up already, and it's kind of clear. I kind of see how they want to engage and what kind of range they're working with. Again, it's true, you have to admit, let's call a spade a spade. They have very little ways to actually find the back line, and they are going to lose out on that range, especially if you're looking at a Novaria on the other side. Now, with that said, it's much, much better. This is a good Novaria and Arlet game for AP Bren. Whatever this pick is right here will actually fix up how the whole tempo goes, because that's a Fredrin marching up to a what? An assassin? Is this AP Bren looking at an assassin setup?
An assassin setup actually seems a little bit tempting here, but no, they go with the safest route. They go for it. Their utility junglers once again. Martis for Team AB Bren.
A pseudo assassin, right? I mean, it's a pseudo one. It can work in the early game. You get a snowball and you just death ball all the way. But if you lose, hey, safe. Anti-CC, tanky as well, durable. That's all you need for the team to set up for the Claude and Novaria.
Homies is a hybrid. Homies is pulling both. He can play for both. And with that, the only question is, can AP Bren get aggressive enough to afford this snowball for the Martis on Coyoteezy? If not, then Team Lilgun can actually get us to a Game 3. Because Team Lilgun, despite their range being much smaller than AP Bren, their play with space being much smaller, they can actually confirm kills much, much better.
Yeah, the numbers are here, so close between Team Lilgun and AB Bren, but lead us again, Mirko, to the land of dawn.
Match point for AP Bren to qualify to the knockout stage with a perfect record 3-0. Lilgun, their odds of making it to knockouts on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the land of dawn for game number 2, the decider of whether we see Lilgun Or perhaps the Burmese ghouls with the help of their arch rivals, AP Bren.
I'd like to think it's less about the help, it's just how the cards are dealt. It's just how fate has drawn this M5 World Championships to be. Looking at these early rotations, it's an orange start for Kyle, and for Zixora, the opposite direction. Early presence coming in from both. This is as clean a laning stage as it gets. Ethan spots out the rotation quick from orange to purple. And yeah, Coyotes is not going to feel much pressure.
Yeah.
Ogun going to answer back. Looking at these emblems, yeah, no, both teams know that it's fast rotations. That's the name of the game, Wilderness Blessing everywhere.
Yeah, and Super Marco goes for a little bit of a tanky approach when it comes to emblems, and that actually justifies the early game because he's gonna, I'm not gonna say struggle, but at least he's not a balanced matchup in the gold lane generally.
Yeah.
So if you were Team Lilgun, would you take like the highest risks? Will you like say go bold or go home at this moment?
No, I'd still say play your best game.
Yeah.
Don't get too hot, don't get too crazy, don't go loco.
Don't go loco.
Because AP Bren is so good at punishing. AP Bren knows where to find these windows. Phew. Throwing it out right there. No one home. On cue though. Something to note as well, Super Marco, he isn't being allowed to double lane just yet. We're looking for the next wave to do just that.
Oh, they are marching toward the top lane, and it seems like the one who's getting help is the XP lane. Bebex and Super Marco looking for that kryptonite approach from you, Bebex. Will you be the one?
Vengeance used up with a stun there, but Forbid was able to escape from Kyle Teasy's pin down. And Forbid has actually chosen the Decimate to utilize in the next neutral objective battle with Zixora holding it down. Owen barely to level 4 now. Let's see the setup, Ethan. It's gonna be Chunk Low right there, good onward, and the Earth Shatter as well, but it's gonna be a taunt coming down, a final slash, displacing Zixora, but the Circling Ego does the same to Owen, who's now in the Primal Wrath form. It's going to be Few! Not the two junglers, it's the mid laner who finds it. Kyle's looking for the Decimate, he finds Ethan, and that's Forbid who gets another. The Earth Shatter knocks Forbid up, he's looking for more, but he will not be able to find it. AP Bren, clutch win. You want to go for more? Flicker! And they stun flat Teasy. Vengeance into the turret, and now slashes Zixora into the team. One last hit is what they need. But Zixora places himself in a very tough spot to hit for Few.
What a massacre. Walk us through that, Leo.
All right, Team Lilgun, they understand the threat, they understand the...
Was that a steal?
Grand Theft Purple on Few. Idol ng mga kids, a 2-time SEA Games gold medalist. I was just trying to figure out what happened in the first turtle, and now AP Brenner already a step ahead. Okay, let's talk about it real quick. Despite Super Marco not actually getting the gold lane experience, getting the full-on double lane duty, he's doing just that now. AP Bren was able to find the windows of opportunity between Team Lilgun's actual 50-50. Because Team Lilgun actually, they're built to fight for those turtles. They built to actually contest and even come back for kills, especially since Forbid picked up the Decimate. But AP Bren, they did trade out for it. We did see Kyle TC fall once. They just used their ult so much better. Especially since Ogun picked up the Primal Wrath. He turned 4 as soon as the fight began.
Super Marco taking those minions, clearing them up from mid to bot, over and over again. He's getting too much farm that he got his first item in a matter of 4 minutes. And not just that, I think, yeah, indeed, he does also have the boots. So AB Bren are looking really good right now, but Flapteasy, yeah, he just continues.
Yeah, not to mention actually Flapteasy being a key part of that post-engage. After the fight proper in the turtle pit ended, he still called for fights. He still understood that, hey, maybe Team Lilgun might want to stay for some XP, for some gold, and he punished them for that.
Why Forbid though keeps on sealing the Decimate? What's wrong with the final slash?
The execute. He's not looking to set. He thinks he has enough of the set with the help of Aizen and Zixora. He wants to go for the execute, the damage dealing, the carry potential with Bebex.
The turn.
Combo with the torn apart memory, and it's scary. 2-man stun with an Earth Shatter. Now it's going to talk from Zixora, locking Open down for a bit. He still has a Primal Wrath. Will choose to pop it here.
Interesting.
Oh, it's gonna be Eisen with a penalty zone onto 4. It doesn't engage just as fast, but Ethan is able to find a kill, and now onto Flap TZ they go. 1v4 in the midst of it all. It's another Earth Shatter and a Torn Apart Memory that takes Flap down and gives a turtle over to Lilgun.
Beautiful execution by Team Lilgun. Beautiful engage from Eisen. Beautiful stack slaying by Bebex. And it was all started by a circling eagle that was set up by Ethan from the backline, forcing AP Bren to respond. They were holding on to their oaths. Again, I'm looking at that green dot on Flap TZ's portrait. And that was what forced Team Lilgun to get the victory. Forced AP Bren to respond when they weren't ready. That's why that Primal Rat felt so weird. Because Ogwin needed the extra health to actually contest. And it didn't happen. So when Kyle TZ died, it all fell apart.
Yeah, both side lanes turrets are now down, and Team Lilgun, even though they tried their best at this turtle fight, but didn't turn out well for them. Looking at Team Bren, actually there is something quite funny here, is that whenever Zexora is trying to get his blue, someone else takes it. We have seen Few earlier on in the game takes the purple buff from Zexora, and now actually Ethan was the one who's stealing the AB Bren's blue purple buff. So here we go. Let's look at something else. Let's look from another angle. AB Bren, they are going to utilize bot lane.
Remember pre-game when we were talking about how Lilgun has evolved? It seems like they went back. Eisen was one of the pillars.
Yeah.
And now that Eisen is gone, his comfort pick, they play around Eisen. They say, you know what, let's stick to what works, right? We don't need everyone to get a lead, especially against a team like AP Bren. Pick our fights and choose the ones where Eisen can set.
Yep, and if you go back to your old ways, you go back to a much stronger chance of actually going for the reverse sweep.
Yep.
So if you're all in on Eisen, then you're more likely to snowball into a comeback victory. 7 minutes in, 1,000 gold head. I was looking at the lane per lane item and gold gain matchup, and Team Lilgun is looking great. Team Lilgun is gaining where they need to, because if if Kyle is up, then that doesn't mean much.
Oh, just deleted instantly. Deleted from that mid lane. Flap TZ walked up a bit too over aggressive.
If I am Team Lilgun, I would be worried about Super Marco. He's building up his items without any contestant whatsoever. But yet, as you guys said, Team Lilgun are on the right track. Ethan
gets out.
He gets out indeed. But again, Team Lilgun are winning in terms of lanes and also right now in terms of turtles. Would you say that they are on the right path to go for a victory, or is AB Bren building something that just needs time like the Claude?
Man, I'd be a liar if I said no. This is exactly what Team Lilgun needs to do. They are on the right path, being 2K ahead, having the most of it on Bebex. They're actually forcing AP Bren to have these odd engages. And now look, Kyle's down.
They just look for very awkward ways to enter these pickoffs. These angles are just unorthodox. It's off angles, and AP Bren are getting caught by it. Now with no Kyle TZ, seems like Lilgun want to mount up a bit of a siege in the mid lane, but against AP Bren and Ovaria, they should be able to clear that with no problems.
The thing is, Team Lilgun knows that AP Bren's actual plays are setups. They're 2 or 3 step plans. And Team Lilgun, the reason why it seems like it's off angle is they're forcing it. It's so easy for them. All they have to do is say, all right, Eisen, do you have the flicker penalty zone, also known as an OPZ, offensive penalty zone? Ethan, do you have the circling eagle? Do you have the perfect target? All right, somebody come in with me. It can be forbid. Bebex, are there enough stacks? Yeah, let's force it. You just need 1 bit of CC for you to confirm a kill. And if any of those are checked, then AP Bren loses 1 or 2 members. It's that quick of a decision-making process for Team Lilgun. For AP Bren, it's more of, okay, Echoes first. All right, where are they? Can we get a 2-man, 3-man onward? Okay, final slash? If not, we try to regroup, we try to re-engage. It's that difficult for AP Bren, and that's what dictated the pace. That's what made Team Lilgun here almost 2K ahead in about 9 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, kind reminder here. Team Lilgun, if they win this game, they are just halfway through. They are not yet qualified. They need the full series. And so far, as we have said, they are looking good. so far. But Team AB Bren can just melt them down, melt them back, having Super Marco in a 0-0-0
Exactly.
without any contestant, as I said. He didn't even need to use his Purify so far. Look at him, even at bot lane. He's just farming. He's just
care.
getting turret. He's getting fed.
Yeah, I guess fair enough. AP Bren's cores aren't online yet. That's why it's taking for so long for them to make decisions, to make
Super
plays.
Marco. Look at him on bot lane.
He's going all the way.
Yeah.
And AP Bren are distracting just enough so that it delays it for a tier 2. I would say for Team Lilgun, they've actually lost a bit of that lead. They can come back with a siege, but if AP Bren are able to manage the waves in their favor, this Lord might not be able to find anything.
That's right. Team Lilgun have to CTL. They have to capitalize on the Lord. If
Wow.
they don't, then that's it. AP Bren just equalized. They put the gold at equilibrium. That's what explains Team Lilgun being under 2K now, closer to 1,000.
Every time you're up against AP Bren, when you have a lead, it's not even halfway. You're a quarter way there because you need to deal with Marco. Every time. AP Bren are behind, they can always rely on Marco. They will minimize their losses across the map and give Marco enough space to farm. He is a level ahead, about to be, of Bebex, and that's the guy with the kills.
Yeah.
This is very similar to how Blacks International deals with losing situations. As what Wolf said, the anti-disaster protocol, AP Bren puts it on Marco.
Oh, they might just commit to the inhibitor turret. The Lord's still healthy, not touched, but seems like Team Lilgun wants to take it again, layer by layer, turret by turret. They want to keep AB Bren, but just back behind their inhibitor turrets.
Okay, good news for Team Lilgun. They were able to CTL. They were able to capitalize on the Lord and have it push 2 turrets. One up top and one in the mid.
And a bot, you can add that too.
There you go. So we're close to halfway there for Team Lilgun. They've managed to inflate their lead once more up to 3,000. And Ogwin, despite having good engages and re-engages with his conceal, he's been using it very liberally. Team Lilgun is able to deny any of those CCs.
And speaking of lead, would you consider like 2K or 3K lead for Team Lilgun 12 minutes into the game something to be mentionable? Because I think that with the Team AB Bren can contest around anything actually. They can invade at this moment. They can go for a Lord contestant. They can go even for a catch-up. So I think that AB Bren are building just fine. And also having most of that gold for Super Marco alone is scary.
All right, you know what I always say, man? It's not about what you got, it's how you use it.
Yep.
So even if Team Lilgun are a significant amount of gold up, unless they capitalize, there's not much. Eisen!
He's getting melted down. That's the damage that Super Marco does right now. That's scary because he doesn't even have...
Oh!
Teasy. A good final slash into the Earth Shatter. Flap Teasy gonna be locked down right now with the Circling Eagle knocking him up as well. But look at that poke. All the way out. First Shadow Flicker combo, bringing Eisen back to the all. Ripper's able to flicker back as well. Good Primal Wrath. But Bebex, my goodness, that damage was disgusting.
Pretty good, AP Bren playing with range. They forced one out but couldn't finish it as quickly. And yes, Flapteezy found a very, very good CC, even Ogwin, but the damage placement from Team Lilgun was just a little bit better compared to AP Bren, because AP Bren was able to put, what, 2 or 3 members of Team Lilgun down below, but Super Marco was just waiting. They didn't make the call just yet. They didn't say, all right, we're going for the throat, we have to wait.
Well, because I want this game actually personally to go for game number 3, I'm worried for Team Lilgun, because even in that last team fight, Super Marco didn't even use his Blazing Duet. He's just taking turrets down one after another, just sneaking from the backs of Team Lilgun.
And you knows, yeah, you gotta commend the discipline, right? If this was any other gold laner, a lesser gold laner, in fact, me, myself, for example.
Or me.
I would have forced it, right? You would have forced it. You would have said, let's stay. This is a tier 2 turret. We should.
How can you be the one in lead when it comes to the whole board when your team is 4K behind, though? That's a really good question for me.
Oh, it's across the board. Mainly, this is on Super Marco and then spread out across.
Wow.
That's what builds up this 4K gold lead. So yeah, no, it's right. AP Bren holding strong on their cores. That's the key here.
Team AB Bren, they are now into the defense. An Enhanced Lord coming from top lane. And Team Lilgun, they have all their spells mostly. Just 4-bed is missing that flicker. But yet, they have the penetration needed to take the tanky heroes. They have the damage needed to take that torn apart memory and tear the AB Bren base down.
Yeah, damage received tells this whole story of what happened at the last team fight. Aizen and ZXaura taking a lot of damage from Super Marco and not dying. That's what Team Lilgun wants. That's how Team Lilgun want to get through from this late game into the ultra late game, wherein it's inevitable. But AP Bren able to defend like a champion. Look at this, they're able to take down that Lord, take down the waves, and keep all their inhibitors. They managed to do just that.
Did they just sacrifice that Lord? They didn't commit to the Lord. They didn't go with it. They didn't even go for an opposite lane. They didn't go for the mid lane. Why Team Lilgun didn't go for any aggressive approach? Was it too risky?
I'd say it was
Dealt with.
both. Yeah, no, both. It was risky, and they made the call to say we shouldn't. So that means, and this is just my personal opinion, you're allowing AP Bren to breathe. You're giving AP Bren a chance to get out of their base, put farm on not just Marco, more importantly, put farm on few, and then find and engage. Because inside your base, there are no bushes, no places for Ogwin and Flap to play Trixie. But now that you're allowing AP Bren to get out of there and give them time to maybe even contest for this 40-second Lord coming up, that's dangerous. I think Team Lilgun really should have put the pedal to the metal, but maybe the angle was off. The Lord being on top might have been not favorable for them.
Yeah, I would say that it's lethal at this point to let AB Bren breathe because they already have the confidence, they already have that world-class performance, and with just one moment for them to catch a breather, they can go in against Team Lilgun and contest the next Lord. And not just that, they have the crowd control needed, and Super Marco with a 0, 0, 0, none touched, and most damage can be dealt with one blazing duet.
All right, the lack of bush plays is making me uneasy. The fact that neither team want to commit too much time to try and get a play out of a bush means they both respect map presence. They both respect the fact that we're seeing way too many of these AP Bren or Team Lilgun players on the map that we don't want to waste time while staying. And now the Lord dance. Oh, it's not even a dance.
Oh, I can seal.
The Poken Kaltizi down in the front. Ogwen, Earth Shatter coming down. They're not going to go for a commitment just yet right now, but Aizen will lose his life. Super Marco dealing so much damage. Ogwen finding immortality. That's going to be Bevek swept over to the side of the team. And Foreman jumps in a back now, outplayed by Super Marco. 3v5, Marco back with the BMI. Bevek's running for the hills. That's an Appraiser's rat on a torn apart memory. Flap Teasy sustaining for just a bit. Zixora trying to stab him, but he's still going to be alive. Super Marco dealing some damage. Ethan revealed, and Astral Sphere connects onto Bevek. Super Marco found 2 kills and now buys the RGM. They're on the Lord, and this might be it. They're ticket back into the game.
The turn from AP Bren, that lead from the Mongolian squad went kaput, no more. And here you'll see that a majority of it still, right after purchasing that RGM, the fadeaway BMI double kill play from Super Marco. He is 2,000 gold ahead of his lane mate, and now AP Bren have turned the map red.
Wow.
Wow, do not let the Filipino champions breathe. That's the lesson learned here for Team Lilgun, because at this moment they will face the consequences. They will face the fear, the rush and the aggression that Super Marco and the rest of the AB Bren arsenal will do.
All right, now that this Lord is marching down bot and AP Bren are taking their time to actually synchronize how these waves crash in, let's talk about how that was made possible. Number one, AP Bren have been setting up that kind of team fight since the very last Lord. Second is now AP Bren are more confident because Team Lilgun are actually doubting themselves. They're doubting the amount of range that they have and the amount of stacks Bebex has. And now AP Bren are inside Team Lilgun's base. They're playing with the inevitable here.
And look at the difference instantly. That's a base turret taken down. They have 1 Lord, and they're utilizing it. Now it's 2. It's about to be 3 if they push into other wave, synchronized with the mid and bottom. But you can see, man, 2 base turrets down.
And not to mention the vision advantage that AP Bren has. Vision and range. You're trying to chase down a Novaria, you're trying to chase down a Claude. That's a losing battle, even if you are an amazing Terizl player, even if you're able to put the stacks on as the Brody. Hell, even Forbid found a moment where he thought he could blast Super Marco, but Super Marco held on just in the nick of time, able to heal up with the Haas Claws. This is AP Bren just coming in. They know their win conditions.
Yeah,
that's
almost. Oh, there it is. That's all 3.
Wow.
AB Bren was just having one turret left to take down. That was the last protecting turret for Team Lilgun. Team Lilgun at this moment, they are struggling so badly, and the crowd control from Team AB Bren is just suffocating at this moment. Team Lilgun, Bebex 301, the damage is there, everything is there. I wouldn't say that there's any... Oh, what happened? What did I miss?
You know that there's a secondary damage source now.
Oh.
You see the Starlium Scythe built on Ogwin. So now, even if Few or Super Marco find it hard to re-engage, the damage from the Primal Wrath is now more real, especially since Team Lilgun want to play with time. Team Lilgun want to have these overextended team fights with the hopes of maybe Forbidden Bebex putting down damage. Because they have a solid front line.
Yeah.
Look at Few's damage dealt, man.
It's like the double.
97,000.
They also can't find him, by the way.
Yeah, no, because the Terizla, again, it's a good setter, but you can't really dive to the backhand yet. And that's what we were talking about in the drafts. The Yuzong would be a better choice, but you have to give over some of that setting pressure in the early to mid, and they chose the latter. They chose to have this Terizla, and now AP Bren, they're looking for the final fight of the game.
A hybrid Super Marco, that's the last thing Team Lilgun wants to see. The next team fight is going to be so nasty. The next team fight is going to be so messy. Oh, Super Marco took some damage. He needs to go back a bit.
Fine.
Nope, never mind.
Oh, wait, what?
Something
Never
to note.
mind.
Forbid pulled the trigger, stole away the Astral Echo. That's how important Vision is to this Lord.
And look at Bebex. He's all the way up top. He can't rotate fast enough. Aizen gets bursted down. Yes, that looked like burst, but it's actually DPS. That's just how fast Super Marco can get it done. And AP Bren, they're lords at playing the Lord dance. They know how to do this. They know how to play the long game. Bebex has to deal with 2 waves as a Brody. And AP Bren will get the Lord. This time Evolve for free.
No contest. No contest. And that's it. That's dangerous. If you did not send a single hero to help defend, it would have been over. Given how huge those waves for a comeback.
Yeah.
Like Forbid had the killer instinct. And yes, Flapteezy was able to keep the, how do I say, pace up. But as soon as Aizen with his trademark penalty zone, found 4, AB Bren was forced to respect Team Lilgun's damage output, and